Oh, shoot. That, that ain't gonna work. Let's see here. Friday. Good morning, YouTube. Uh, we are presently about 60 or 70 miles from Jacksonville, Florida. I had to spend the night at the scale house, which for most truckers is a trucker nightmare. Run around, see, they'll leave you alone. What's going on, Mike? Morning. I think I put too much coffee grounds in coffee. Yeah, 'cause it's not draining correctly. I'm in the back making coffee. Hold on. Alrighty. Let's go. Duty. Making coffee. There you go. I think I went a whole week without buying them daggone monster drinks. One, I'm saving money, and two, I ain't drinking the poison. Alrighty, let's get us some water going. Things seem to fall apart this early in the morning. Alright. Okay, now that I got the coffee going, we're getting that out of the way. Um, I don't know if you guys have heard of the company. It's a company, and I'm not getting paid to say this, and it kind of helps your credit, and then you can build credit for it. I think it's called Affirm. I found them last Christmas when I bought Norma her pocketbook, but you can make payments and for buying stuff, and if you pay it off quick, you get a bigger it's like, say for example, if I buy $100 piece of equipment, they'll give me uh, um to pay it at $20 a month. And if you pay it off quicker, it gets reported to your credit. It gets reported to the credit bureau, and then your credit goes up. And you got a set amount of interest that you pay. So, like, say for example, if you buy $100, you pay $115 or something like that. It's not like these high interest credit cards or stuff like that. So I have been using it for small payments. I bought a trailer dolly and I paid it off in 2 months. I bought a pocketbook, paid that off real quick, and I bought something else. I paid off. Well, last night I ordered her she's been needing a tire for God knows how long. And I ordered her a tire, and they're, it's one of the major tire companies. And I'll be paying like $56 interest on the tires. She's got really expensive back tires for her Cadillac. And I told her I ordered it. Well, you could have did this. I said, babe, stop with the trying to take over. Stop with the you could have did that. I just bought you something that you needed. Say thank you. Say thank you. Oh, thank you. That's it. And then I changed the subject. We have this problem of not learning how to accept the fact that some things are, I mean, everybody can do it, but you're so used to, I'm doing it by myself. And you don't even, it's just in our nature, like the other day, everything's like been going out at the house. And, in Georgia, you can barely get somebody to show up. And then when they do show up, it's an arm and a leg. So I have become Mr. DIY, not because I wanted to, but because I can't get nobody to come out. I can't get nobody to show up. And then when they show up, they want a house note to get it fixed. So like the other day, our garbage disposal went bad, and I figured out how to replace it. And I was so excited. And I don't know about women because I'm not a woman. I don't want to be, and to be. But a lot of us have been bunked out in everything else. Every time I fix something, you sure that's how you do it? Oh, really? We gonna go there like that? Well, I'm the type of person, if I mess up, I'm gonna come back and fix it. Like, our door needs to be realigned, back door. I got humiliated a while ago, years ago, when I put it in. But now I'm at the level and got all the rest of the tools that I can fix it. So when I go home, I'm going to fix it. And I remember growing up watching my father do so many different things, but I just didn't realize that I wouldn't have a chance to ask or wouldn't have a chance to learn some of the basic things that I'm struggling to learn right now. Home repair, you know, auto repair. That's one thing that just breaks my heart. My father was a mechanic. He wasn't the mechanic that you have nowadays that's got to stick a machine on there, but he could tell by listening to it what was wrong with it. And I remember having a few flashbacks, and I think that's why I have so much fun with small engines. It's because I'm pretending that it's a car engine. And I remember, and you can see in the short video that I did when I got the first core aerator when I got it started. You could see when the first I forgot what the name of that mower was, but it was a real old commercial mower. And I got it started, but there was gasoline spewing out. And I mean, it would have been a hot mess if I had hit a spark. But I was screaming and so happy. And I don't remember one time ever being that happy doing something. I remember that the tire on the lawnmower was so corroded, I had to sawzall the thing off of there. And I sanded it down and I sprayed it and I did. And it's like I just miss my father. I wish I would have knew what I was missing. Because, on the thumbnail, it says, at certain ages, they know everything, but now you don't, and so forth and so on. Hey, guys, we'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to. I got to act like I'm doing an inspection because I'm at the scale house. But good morning, Associate Minister. I have so much regret. And don't get me wrong, my father was a hard person to get along with. But I knew he had a lot of knowledge. I just wish I would have had a chance to hear him out. And a lot of us, we don't take the time. We don't take the time or the effort to want to get along with each other. any of you guys in the chat, have you ever had a regret that you didn't learn something, that you didn't, a lot of times everybody thinks we're trying to tell you what to do. I've already done what you did. I'm just trying to prevent you from doing it because I know the outcome. The outcome never changes. It's like a reoccurring cycle. That's why a lot of times, when we see these single mothers, they make their sons into their freaking, they beat the sons down just like your father, or this or that, and you don't realize that a son really needs a man in their life, a positive role model, so they can continue on. It's like in me to want to fix stuff. I was, and I never had that because, my younger ages I was surviving, thinking I knew everything, which I didn't. And I look back and say, I wish I would have listened. I said, I just said, I wish I would have listened. Is there anything that you guys, that you think about that you wish you would have listened? Hey, welcome in, India. Welcome in. Funny note. I just thought curry was just the spice curry. I didn't know that curry means like sauce. It's like different types of sauces, which is curry. I know that had nothing to do with anything. But and I just love me some curry. My wife doesn't. My wife doesn't. I'm getting ready to get up out of here. I just wish. Hold on. I remember, long story short, my first marriage. My first marriage, I just knew I was in love, and I wasn't. I knew I was stupid, and I was. And I finally had enough and demanded a divorce. And I remember I called my father up, and I said, "Dad, I asked for a divorce, and I need a place to stay, and I'm getting out of here. I've had enough." And he said, gosh, he said, God, damn, it's about time. I got just the right lawyer for you. Hold on, let me get a number. And he said, I've been waiting. And I didn't realize that my first wife had sent my father this really damning letter and said that I approved of it. And he didn't want to say nothing because he knew I would have, freaked out and everything else. We don't realize what our parents have done for us. We don't realize, they fed us, they bathed us, all that crap. But we don't realize what our parents have done. It's good, bad, and the ugly. You got to understand. Once you become a parent, you'll understand. And once you done been through it, you know. Um, I look at cars now, and I just wish I would have went to my father's shop because he had a shop. I wish I would learn how to change brakes. I can do an oil change, but I just wish I could have learned how to change brakes. I wish I would have learned basic diagnostics. I wish I would have learned some of the stuff that I didn't have a chance to learn. I wish I would have made an effort. Yeah, you're right. But I also learned that it's never too late. You can also learn and you can do stuff. I remember when I fixed those engines, the lawnmower engines, I sat there and was excited. I was in tears. I was so happy. And I literally screamed out, "Daddy, I did it." And I didn't realize I said that until I checked the video. And I didn't realize that another thing had been haunting me. Another thing had been haunting me. And, but I could have let it go. You know what I mean? I don't know if that even sounds I don't know if that even sounds like something. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on. Let's see. I gotta verify my log, guys. Come on. Oh, time to go. Time to go. Time to get to moving. Oh, I was driving so I was driving so uh, for so long yesterday. I'm so tired, and I said, I finally said, let me find a place to stop. And one of the things is when you're out here, you learn where to stop, where to Ajax. You learn where to pull in and so forth and so on. But we don't realize a lot of times, especially old school men don't say "I love you" all the time. They say it in a different way. They show it in a different way. Even if they're yelling and screaming, that could be the way they tell you, "Look, I love you. I don't want you to do. I don't want you to mess up. Look, I care about you. I don't want you to. I don't want you to screw up." Let's get this going. Um, my son, and here's the whole argument because I went and told him stop posting everything on Facebook. And I sit there and realize it from my years of experience. Okay, he got radicalized. He this whatever dude, the guy that got shot, that said all those things about black women and everything. He thinks that they were a Christian, and I told him, I said, son, I said, I'm your father, and I'm proud of you standing up to me that you think that you're right. Okay, well you're right, but you got to stand 10 toes down on that. I'm not gonna allow that. You believe a Christian nationalist over your father? That's not cool with me. So you know, I love you, and I'll always be here for you. But I can't have that negative energy in my life. So he goes on Facebook and tells my father disowned me and all that. Well, in a sense, but you got to tell the rest of the story, because he mentioned to my pastor, my pastor friend, Gospel Express Ministry, that he wants to have a girlfriend. And I'm telling him, I said, hey, bro, I'm trying to save my son from himself. You ain't gonna get no black girlfriend when she find out that you believe a Christian nationalist over your father. And any black woman of her salt is gonna tell you wrong. He's trying to find uh 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 you know friends through my family and friends, that people close to me. He went to my older sister. She said, you dead ass wrong. And see, this is what I was doing is, as your father, I'm trying to prevent you from embarrassing yourself. I'm trying to prevent you from. I've done everything you've done. I'm trying to stop you from embarrassing yourself. You got to realize you got to do your homework. Everything over. Oh, that's not what he said. Yeah, he said that black women are stupid. But I'm trying to prevent you from embarrassing yourself. And a lot of us don't have fathers that care enough to, try to prevent us from embarrassing ourselves. I hate the rain. I don't know about y'all, but I hate the rain in an 18-wheeler is even worse. Yeah, we wiggling early in the morning. It's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a minute. But just like my man Jags, my father was straight country. He could till a field, grow plants. He could hunt, skin that animal. My father was ex special forces. He was a ranger, and I ain't know none of that. I didn't know my father was 82nd Airborne until almost a year before he passed, and that is so sad. I didn't know my father was 82nd Airborne. The only reason I know my father was 82nd Airborne is Charles, my moderator, was 82nd Airborne. And a lot of the military now, especially special forces, they have coins. That's why I respect Charles like I do. They both were talking about this coin. Charles had carried it all with him all the time. And my father said, yeah, I lost mine years ago. Charles gave him his. And this was a little while before my father passed. You don't realize the camaraderie that you have, father, until it's too late. I didn't realize that there's only two people in our family who were military, me and my father. That's why I'm kind of pissed. My father had a picture of uh, him jumping out of an airplane, and I still asked my mother for it. She would give it to me. Then she passed, and then it just got lost somewhere, and it's gone. That's our family history, and it's gone. It's sad. We don't hold to our history or try to hold to our family history until it's too late. We always say, I know what I'm talking about, you don't know it, blah blah blah. Instead of being quiet, you might actually learn something. Not saying that they're gonna be polite when they say it though, because old school fathers were never polite about how they said stuff, but they had love behind it. You know, I wish what I know now. I wish I would have knew then. Good morning. I see someone else came in. Sorry, guys, I can't answer you. I'm driving my truck, and the mount is in a different spot, and so I just got to keep on. I got to keep on keeping on. But I'm bobtailing, and I think I'm just gonna stay at 55 this morning. You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna stay at 55. And here's another thing. My father had a before the last 10, 20 years before he died, he was really into horses. Had a three-horse trailer, F-350 King Ranch, and I remember I was having problems backing up, and I was learning how to drive an 18-wheeler. And I asked him, could I go in the parking lot and practice with his trailer? He pulled over there and let me practice. A little different, but let me practice. Those are the things that I remember. Oh, I see Urban there. Hey, Urban. Those are the things I remember. you know, and I remember when he was in his 70s, he ain't playing. And a lot of people were scared of him. I wasn't because I have the same crazy gene. And I remember I was down on my luck and I sold him my guns. And he always had my old 357 Magnum in the drawer at the shop. And this Jamaican dude was getting irate with him and said something wrong. And he nonchalantly started walking towards that desk where the gun was. And that guy started yelling out, down 911, down 911. He gonna shoot me down there. And he grabbed the gun and the guy took off. And I laughed, but I didn't laugh. It was something. He was like, look, I'm too old to be playing around with you, with these ninjas. And I won't last long anyway. But I'm not gonna put. I'm not gonna do. I'm not playing with. I'm not playing around. And I remember when he passed, I asked my mother where the guns at, and she said it's so and so got it. And I told him, look, bring me my stuff back. And I've had it back ever since. But and I don't carry. I don't do all that. They're at home because I know I don't have the fortitude. I wound up in jail, so I leave the things alone. You know what I mean? But it was a phase or whatever. But I learned while watching, and I learned how to give and get respect. And I remember because I was trying to tell my son he wanted to go in the military. I said, "Well, which one do you want?" He said, "Well, I'm going to the Marines." And I'm thinking, and I really didn't want to hurt his feelings, but I said to myself, "You ain't gonna make it in the Marines." I said, "You need to go in either Navy or Air Force." Well, he didn't want to listen, and I told my father, and my father had just had a stroke, but I could understand a lot of people couldn't. And I remember he said he ain't gonna make it, and I said, "I know." I said, "But I'm stand by him, as best I can." He said he ain't gonna make it, and this day and age, everybody gets in their feelings, get their feelings hurt. But if you can hear past the person that you know, you might actually learn something. Because in the Marines, you got hell week. In the Marines, you got certain things that you got to do to get out of that thing. And if you can't do that, you might as well give it up. You're not gonna make it. When you were at any job, I used to lose jobs so much because I didn't learn how to shut up. My father said, "Look, boy, you talk too much. You got to be quiet. Mind your business. Do your job, then go the heck on home." Because I used to, so and so don't know what he's doing, blah, blah, and next thing you know, I'm fine. When I started learning how to shut up, I started lasting a whole lot longer. When I started learning how to not get mad at everything, because I used to be out here mad at everything. He's like, "Boy, you need to calm down. You're going to bust a blood vessel." Yes, sir. When I learned, how to shut up and not get mad at everything, that's when things started working for the better for me. You know what I mean? I remember almost right before he passed, I looked at him and said, "Look," and I didn't care when everybody else was around. I said, because he worried about all of us. I said, "But you don't have to worry. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about me, Dad. I'm going to be all right. With all of my dysfunctions and all my problems, I said, you don't have to worry about me. I'm going to be okay." And he eased up, and you can see he was relaxed. I said, "I'm going to be okay." And again, I said, "I don't know about the rest of them. I don't talk to my family. I stay to myself." You know, again, not like I know anything, but I wish I would have had more time to sit down and learn. I learned about racism, real problems that went on when he was younger. How they would in North Georgia on a Friday night, you literally had to turn the lights out because drunk white men would come around and drag you out of your house. That's crazy, man. And I was like, "Really, Daddy?" He marched with Malcolm X. You know, um, my father was a shop steward for a local uh, a local union in New York. You know, I would hear bits and pieces of his life and learn. I wish that Instead of me being that know-it-all young kid that swore he knew everything, if I would have just shut up and would have sat down and learned something. Like they got this book out. I guess you get a TikTok, you give it to your parents and tell them, hey, Dad, tell your story. Instead of sitting down and listening and learning the stories. Instead of sitting down and listening how to learn how to cultivate a crop. They didn't have, back in the day, black folks didn't have all this stuff. But they knew they had to survive, so they knew how to plant seed. They knew how to use manure, how to use salt, how to use this, how to use that, how to survive off the land. They knew how to survive off the land. We got these farmers now. Oh, we didn't know Trump was going to do it to us, and the black farmers are going, "What y'all crying about? We ain't getting no help." And the black farmers are dealing with it. What y'all crying about? You know? The only problem is I'm just sorry it was too late. He died before I was going to take him on a cruise and have my son, going to be sleeping in the same room with him. We're going to just take him on a cruise and, that so he could enjoy himself. Like, he laid on a path before that. It was too late. I miss my father. And, I miss him, but not in that Facebook way every year. Happy Father's Day in heaven. If heaven is the way we think it is, our loved ones ain't worrying about us no more. They in glory. What you mean? You down here in hell dealing with this bull crap. But hey, whatever floats your boat. But I wish I would have listened more, that I could have learned more and prevented a whole lot of the foolishness that went on in my life. It's okay. We do make mistakes, but we want what this younger generation not understanding is we want, hey, morning wellness, we want you to be better than we were. We want you to learn from our mistakes. It's the same thing now with these YouTube channels. I'm trying to show you something so you can learn from my, the gardening community, so you can learn from my planting mistakes. Mike could have never been the gardening guru unless he made some mistakes in the beginning. Guys, I have effed up mine so many times, killed it off so many times. It's still patchy, but it's getting there. When I finally accept it, it's going to take years. When I come home for Thanksgiving, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that back door, because it's not in there correctly. I got to cut it out and then put it back in there correctly, repaint it. But then I'm going to take some parts off that core aerator that I bought before the last cruise and put it on the other one, and then put that sucker off the there. That's the main thing we're going to be doing. But I forgot what I'm. Oh, and I'm learning, and I've learned. I got a whole bunch of ryegrass, but I'm just going to put it in one one spot. Oh, brother. It's slowing down. He was a typhoon. We ain't doing that this morning. I want to have a good morning. The typhoon. See, because right now I don't have a trailer hooked up. I'm a little top heavy. That's what happens. So you gotta take it easy. Because right now I'm doing 50. Doing 50 because I'm going up here to Jacksonville to look for an empty. Hopefully I'll get lucky and find one. I got 3 different places to look, and we're gonna start there. Hopefully we can find an empty. But listen, we shall see, my friend, my friend. But it's the same thing when you say, well, I wish you was around to listen. That's why a lot of times when you guys give advice, I actually unclog my ears and listen because I made a mistake years ago and didn't listen. Maybe I need to start listening now. Maybe I need to start listening now. Maybe I need to take I forgot to put my, you just reminded me, I forgot to put the cinnamon in my coffee. But cinnamon, that cinnamon helps. It helps me feel better. Um, Instead of blowing stuff off, I try to take care of it. My wife, she just swears I don't know nothing about cars, and most of the time I don't. But if I start doing my homework, and I get you something, oh, I'm gonna have so and so. No, no, I'm gonna do it. Just like today, I just ordered a $400 tire. She's got these special tires for the back of this Cadillac. Like, well, why you be buying cars like this? But it's a special tire, and they're low profile, and it's like there's a magnet for nails and whatever on the edge. And with tires, once they hit that wall, they ain't gonna patch and plug them or nothing. And I'm like, oh man. And she's been riding for months with a bad tire. I said, well, as soon as I get close to paying something, I pay one thing down. I said, let me order this thing. And the company's called Affirm, and they what they do is it's posted on your credit report. So if you pay it off real quick, you're making yourself look good. So it's a $400 tire. I'll probably have it paid off by the end of the month. Like next week, either I'm gonna put $50 down on it or 100. I pay it off before the first one is due. The first bill is due. And then what it is they automatically debit out a certain amount of money. I got a whole year to pay this tire off, but I'm gonna pay off in a month. And I like using it. And now I got $11,000 worth of credit, open credit with this company. I mean, I ain't gonna use it, but for small purchases and stuff like that. But I just wanted my wife to know I appreciate her, and because she's starting to understand that we don't need to be throwing everything on a credit card. Because when you throw everything on a credit card, it's the devil. I tell you, say it like that. And I remember I've been talking about fathers, but you need to listen to mothers too. My mother said it's nothing like looking. I remember my mom said it's nothing like looking at your savings account and seeing that you got money set aside for a rainy day. I had money set aside for a rainy day because I was listening to her, but I had to dip into it the last 3 years. So the money set aside for a rainy day is a few drops and a few dribbles. But I'm working on that too. I'm working on that too. You know what I mean? We'll figure it out. Okay, guys, I'm gonna run it a little short today. The weekend is coming up. I want y'all to enjoy your weekend. I want you guys to have a good old time. Coming up next, Wellness is taking the stage at 7 o'clock. Get your workout on, positive affirmations, and fashion sense. Eddie Lugo Studios at 7:15. Go live together, Miss T with go live together with Eddie Lugo Studios. Cruising is fun every time, and Miss T and Miss T with the T at 9:15. Guys, y'all have a wonderful weekend. As always, know that I love you. God loves you. Y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for listening in. I will see you guys Monday. Deuces.